Alright, hey, it's Doom, and we're back. And we're on part two of making our Aranea, which is a spider-like creature with a humanoid forearms and a spidery head that looks more human than a spider to me. I've added a human head on mine, so I did not conclude the pinchers. In the official artwork, there are some like front leg mandible things like tarantulas have. But if he has those arms, I don't know. Either way, mine is not the same as the books. Let's take a look at the books. Here's the books. And there's mine. So the simple solution here is to start with the base, I think. So let's get a brush. A little bit of wetness on that brush. And do the base up dark brown. And we're probably going to have to do 2 coats because I did a base coat of white in here. Maybe not. We'll see. And then these rocks down here on the base are going to be gray, so you don't really have to put a lot of focus on those, unless you're really wanting to make those brown too. All right. So, see the brown in the cracks underneath the legs. Something like that. We might not need to come back for a second coat because we're going to bring another brown to lighten this up because dirt is not all one color. I also kind of think I should do it in gray because it should be a cave floor. This creature probably lives in the cave, I'm guessing, not like out on the ground. I don't know. Maybe he hunts anywhere. We can do a little bit of everything with this. We can just play around and get what we want. All right, for its coloring, in the book, it's like a green and it has like some like faded purple grossness and some red on its tail. What I think I want to do is I want to stick with a green. So let's dry him off some. And let's see, I have a really disgusting green speed paint. That I'd like to try out. But first let's get this based up with. Melted chocolate, where are you hiding? I've got my melted chocolate and I'm prepared to do some base work here. Oh yeah. So we're just going to catch the spots of the base we didn't get before. A little bit of white in there showing around the sides. I might come back and do that black because I kind of do on all my fantasy minis, but on this series I haven't been doing it as much. I say series because I'm just kind of a one-off champion until I have a house rules for your TTRPG series that's shorts. But for videos, I just kind of make videos. So I could use that speed paint, or I can make a disgusting gray-green and paint them all that color and then do a wash on it, and that might give me a similar look. But I'd like to give this speed paint a fair shot. It's a color called Malignant Green, and I don't really use it much, and I don't like it. So it might be just what we need for a fellow like this. Alright, let's get some tape. When I use dot paints like this that come out in a little tube, I like to get a little tape to put it on so it doesn't absorb through it. For best results, do lots of mixing. Yeah, man. Alright, so let's see here. It's a repulsive and disgusting color. That is not a lie. And let's get an Army Painter regiment brush to do this with, because it has, I'm familiar with how it coats when you paint with it. Now for that little bit of trim on the original monster that's like that ugly purple, I have no color like that. I did not yet purchase the enormous big speed paint set. And I don't have, I just have the giant set of normal paint. So I don't have that a color exactly like that yet. So we can make something, but it's really hard to make really light colors using white, because white tends to make everything look overly bright. Okay. I think that this speed paint is actually catching some detail I didn't even really notice was there. So that's a nice side effect of using it. We probably would have seen that same effect though. I can't think of English right now. Probably could have seen the same amount of detail with dry brushing, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna need some more paint though, that's for sure. I think we're getting kind of what we wanted here. Well, we got a little bit of brown under there where I messed up, but that's okay. We'll just leave it. I think it'll be okay. All right. I'm not seeing any more white. That does not mean there is not more white. It just means I'm not seeing any more. I'd like to do a little more on his back there. Well, this is a non-binary spider creature. This could be a he or a she. I'm not judging. I didn't lift its legs in check. Okay, and then there's supposed to be some reddish pinkish by his butt, and I didn't plan for that, so we're gonna have to come back and deal with that too. Alright, let's get the same brush since it's small. I usually don't like to use these brushes for garbage minis, but I think this Aranea looks okay. He's not 100% garbage. Let's get this brush and a little bit of this pavement color and do the stones. Let's also consider brushing some of that around in some spots on the base to simulate that he is in a cave. We're just going to kind of do a cartoony, silly looking little mush up there of gray. We're going to get a lighter gray. I'm going to wash that brush and hit this with some hot air. Let's get our +2 hot air gun of burning. cardboard. We're just going to use that same brush. We're going to get that and wipe some of that off. We're just going to hit that stone. So it has a couple different colors on it. So when we come back and hit with a little bit of a dry brush, it has some variance. And then we're going to kind of touch around in here. Non-symmetrical, strange gray smears. So maybe we're in the mouth of a cave, or maybe we're outside, or maybe we're in the cave and this thing's lair. Who knows where we are? No one knows, man. Here's what we do know. If this thing come at you, you'd be like, oh snap, son. You'd be terrified. So would I. Let's get a little bit of a lighter gray. And let's just touch those rocks a little bit. Just the high spots. Kind of show where the edges of the rocks are, where the sticky uppy parts are, you know. And if you remember, we only put 3 rocks on this base, but the glue made some accidental extra rocks. And we're just going to smear some of that around in the little spots in there to break up that floor. Maybe come around the edges a little bit, make it a little more gray. Okay. Now, we have to do something. We have some extra glue starting to pull down around his butt, because what the speed paint does is it fills in the gaps and then it runs down. So we gotta get that snipped out. I'm just gonna get a little piece of old t-shirt here and grab that off his butt. Okay. Alright, so let's dry his butt now that I think about it. There we go. Alright, so his butt is pink, or her butt is pink. Do I have a pink speed paint? I do not. I have red. I have skin color, Crusader skin. That's kind of tan. So let's see if I have some pink paint over here. What's this? Barbarian flesh. That's kind of pink. Let's get this gray put away. We're probably not going to need it again. Let's look at this barbarian's flesh. That's pretty pink there. It's fairly pink. Let's use that. And just kind of pull some of that green into it. See that? At the top part here. So it looks a little natural. And then as we get down here, we use more of the pink. Now, for you professionals out there, you know I'm not doing any kind of real painting rules here. I'm just painting, so I apologize. I'd like to look at the picture again. We use some black bug eyes, and I didn't really account for that either. I'm just rinsing that brush out while I dry this. I'm going to hit this with a hair dryer and come back with the pink. See how I did there? It's just like... that brush, get that, kind of pinking that up some more here. Pinking that up. I don't know if that's a real word. I'm pinking it up, sir. And I think I'd like to do, that looks a little too pinky for me. So what I would like to do there, I just want to darken that up one little teeny bit, but I don't want to go overboard, so I'm going to get a little bit of this red here. And I'm going to get, my brush is kind of wet. I'm going to get some of that pink, a little bit of that red. Make this ugly melon color and just kind of get the tip of the point with that. Grossing that up a little bit. That's pretty gross. I like it. I feel bad because I didn't do anything with that purple, and it says they have like a purple. I'm not sure how to do that without screwing up my paint job at this point. I could freestyle do lines, but for that to happen, we'd have to. It just wouldn't look right. I don't think. We could dry brush them in purple, and a light purple maybe. I don't think that would really do. We could do that on his legs. That'd at least make them look a little different, right? Let's hit him with air. Let's dry him off and see what we can do. I'm really just worried about drying his legs off at the moment. Let's get a purple. I have some different purples. This one's called Grimoire Purple. This one's called Orc Blood. This one's called Alien Purple. This one's called Crusted Sore. That's disgusting. Alright, so I think I'm going to stay away from the Crusted Sore. Let's go with this Grimoire Purple. I don't know if I've ever used it. So let's make sure it's shook up really well. And while I'm shaking that up, let's look at our Aranea. That little pointy thing out there is looking pretty gross and fleshy. Alright. So, since this is going to be a really, really light dry brush on his legs, and I don't know how it's going to look, let's get this paint and kind of get it in the brush. And we'll get more of this paint in a minute. I just want to kind of get a guess of what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be pleasant. Oh, it's not going to be doing much at all. Alright, let's get some more of that. We're going to get a little more serious here. Alright. We're just going to drag that across the top of the legs. And I'm mainly focusing on that middle section. I think is kind of what I'm going for here. Gross. This wasn't what I was going for, but I'm not really sure what I was going for. It definitely added some kind of character. I'm not sure if it was good or bad, though. Okay, something like that maybe. We could do some of that on his back, I think. Just gonna come across the middle there. Give him another little bit of color there. And that implements that purple we were supposed to have, I think, well. And granted, this wasn't planned, but it's pleasant. I like it. It makes him gross. Her gross. It gross. Nice. Well, this is definitely kind of what we wanted to do for sure. So let's get a really small brush. I'm not quite going to fractional for this. It looks like these guys have 2 eyes. I'd kind of like to... Spiders have like 40 eyes. Who knows? More than they should. I'd like to do 4 eyes on mine. Something like that. And then I'm going to make a little slit of a mouth for him, I believe. I could freestyle draw a mouth, I suppose. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's see if I have a sharp enough knife that we can do something nice. Alright, I think this one might be pretty sharp. Let's see if I can get in there and not screw this guy up. I hear cardboard crunching. cardboard toothpicks crunching. So that mouth is very small. What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a tiny bit of this blood red. I'm just going to try to just hit that a little bit. Make them kind of gross. And then so those eyes look 3D because they're not. They're just little dots I made. I'm going to hit him with some air. And I'm going to use some white and make a dot on those dots to give them like a fake 3D look from a distance. Disgusting ass lurching creature, grossness and badness. Oh, I should have done that purple on his front arms too. Oh well, that ship has sailed. Or is it? Dun 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 dun. It is not sailed. What was that gross color we were using? Grimoire purple? I think that's what it was. Way too much Grimoire purple there for the little bit of arm work I'm about to do. I actually pulled some of that up onto his face. That's okay. All right. You can't see me. I'm off camera. I'm coming back. Okay. Nicely done, sir. Thank you. All right. So, we didn't talk about the Aranea, how to run it or anything. All right. So basically, and I have never run an Aranea exactly. I've run creatures like this just to gross people out. I have a couple miniatures I've made that are like a spider and human combined, like a Derider and stuff, and things similar to this. So basically, this creature does not like to confront people head on, but he is also not technically an ambush predator. What he likes to do is he or she likes to set up nets and stuff. And we got to come back here with this black, actually. I'm sorry about that. They like to set up like an ambush kind of situation, but they don't actually ambush you themselves. They use sorcery to weaken you to the point where they can get what they want from you, whether it's to eat you or to make you do work for them or whatever it may be. So they are pretty gross, man. They are deceptive and nasty. They do have your normal spider stuff. They have a bite and a sting and all that, but they're sorcerers at heart. And so they want to contribute to the situation by maybe metamorphosing themselves magically with a disguise spell or enchantment on you, so they look more human and make you more willing to want to help them. That's kind of like how stuff like this would act naturally, I believe, too. What I would do is I would have this creature pretend it is something that is trapped in a dungeon. Maybe pretend it is something that is injured. And appeal to the heroes for help. That is how I would do it. Since this thing's whole bread and butter is that it's a spider with some sorcery, I would make sure that the ability to determine this is a spider is difficult. This is not something your players are just going to go, that's a spider. So I would make a miniature designated to be this thing in its normal appearance. And maybe make it an ugly miniature to begin with. Pick a monstrous creature or something. And then, when they finally get to the meat of the adventure and they find out what's happened to them, then reveal it and swap out and put this down. And that's where your fight starts. And when this thing is backed into a corner, it becomes terrorizing. It'll try to stab them with its butt. It'll try to bite them with its thing. It'll try to wrestle them down and hold them down. It'll try to wrap them in web. It'll try to spit poison in their face. Maybe try to blind them. So make yours interesting. Don't make it a boring fight. Build up to it. Make them feel comfortable and safe in the dungeon, like they haven't figured it out. Maybe goblins have been trying to get rid of this thing, and it turns the players against the goblins so that it can have free reign, then tries to eat the players too. Use it for something cool. Anyways, this is Doom, Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, 1.5 of the Dungeon Swag team. If you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, hit the little bell. Please check out our website. It's in the link, or in the description, I should say. The link's in the description. There's also a link to our Discord. Join our Discord. If you make any of the stuff we make, if you paint miniatures, we want to see. If you make any cool terrain, we want to see. If you have any ideas, come talk to us. Talk to me. Say, hey, I want to do this. If I'm not around, talk to Asco. He'll talk to me. But it's a community that we're trying to start of just people in their basement doing stuff, kind of like I am, kind of like Asco is. We're just dudes in the basement chilling. And you could be a lady in the basement chilling or anything in between. We don't care. We just want people that are like-minded, good people that want to spend quality time together enjoying their craft and talking about role-playing games and playing video games and just fun crap. So please take that leap, jump on there, hit the link, join our Discord, come introduce yourself. Even if you think you're super cool or you're not cool, whatever it may be, come check it out. Reach out, try to make a bridge, build a relationship, meet new people. And that's super cool. It really is. I have people I have played games with for over 20 years since I came back from the Army. So it hasn't been over 20 years, 17 years since I came back from the Army, that I still play games with to this day. And you can make those kind of friends online. I've watched people grow up from young adults to men with children and women with children that we knew when they were just barely 18. So come join us. Make some friends, and show us what you've been crafting and painting. We want to see it. So when this guy's completely dry, I will clear coat him. I'll take him upstairs so I'll get some thumbnails, and I'll put some miniatures down with him and see what he looks like in play, and that's how that'll go. I'll do a short. I'll talk about how to run this guy maybe briefly, and that short will have a link to this video, or the first video actually. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking it out. I'll see you next time.